All right, Retro Jersey Podcast tuning in. I think it's episode 25, I believe. Got Larry S in the building today.
Yo, yo,
What's good? What's good? How you feeling?
man, I'm all right, man. I am all right.
It's been a
How you
long
doing?
week. I'm
Yeah,
doing
it's good, good, good. No, it has been a long week. Lots to get to.
We can start off with the Brooklyn and Los Angeles game that took place last week. Um, Brooklyn ended up losing that game to the Lakers, even though Lakers really didn't have much out
Any,
there. Kuzma,
yeah,
Bron, AD sitting down, and for the most part, Lakers in the lead the entire game. I know Kyrie got thrown out in the third quarter, but regardless, the entire game, the Lakers were pretty much in control of that. Um,
hmm
so this kind of what I was referring to as far as like the Nets. Yes, they have firepower, but if you're willing to commit defensively, I think it's an even game. Now, what teams can actually compete and commit defensively? It's probably like only a couple of teams out there. Like I think the Lakers, uh, I think potentially the Denver Nuggets, I think the Bucks. I think those three
okay.
teams defensively, I think they could. I'm not gonna say that it's a guaranteed win in a 7 game series, but I think it's
hmm
gonna be a little bit tougher for the Nets than they actually are prepared to deal with. You know,
Okay.
um,
Nah. Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
and yeah, I just don't think that the chemistry is at a point where they're able to deal with such type of pressure. Because even in that game, like it's different playing from behind than it is with the lead. If you're trying to
Mhm.
chase somebody, after a while and the ISO stuff isn't working anymore, what do you do? You know, now, I think I saw a lot of that in the game against the Lakers, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna do our ISO stuff, but when you're down 5 points, then it's 10 points, then it's 12 points. That's you gotta get into your offense, you gotta get into your plays, you gotta get into your winning your certain matchups. And I didn't see them able to really do that or really know what to do, you know. So
Okay. No, so I'm with you for the most part on that. I didn't see this coming by any means. Now, I don't want to make the excuse that like James Harden wasn't there, Kyrie got taken out in the third. But at the same time, like you said, they were down pretty much that entire game.
yeah.
Um, now, what's it called? Andre Drummond is looking good.
Mhm.
He's looking like a good pickup for the Lakers. He helps them out defensively and on the boards. So it's a different dynamic. Now, the Lakers should not have won this game by any means. Like I will give you that. There is no way that the Lakers should have even come close to winning this game. I will chalk it up to, like you said, just committing defensively. Like what the Lakers do have out there is just a bunch of defensive minded people, actually, like, especially starting. Like, those dudes don't mind playing defense, especially like Horton Tucker. He didn't shoot well, but he played exceptional defense like throughout the game. You had Caruso who was out there, Trez was out there playing defense. So like their defense definitely kind of shook the Nets a little bit. Now the Lakers did get off to a great start. That first quarter was flawless for them. And that got them out to a nice little lead. But the second quarter, they kind of evened up. It was that third quarter that the Lakers really took off on the Nets. And I think that that was due to Kyrie being gone. But this is where KD got to step up. KD got to be that person, especially when you still got LaMarcus Aldridge, you still got Blake Griffin out there, you still got Jeff Green, you still got Joe Harris. Like, come on, K. So that one I'm putting on K. He got to be able to pull that one out. He didn't shoot well, so he's still coming off that injury. You could tell he's still a little questionable. Just getting back in the form. But yeah, at the end of the day, Lakers should not have won this game, but they pulled it out. This is a surprise win. I think the Nets still got some figuring out to do, some chemistry. Okay, hold on.
Good.
Some chemistry issues to still kind of work out. Um, so I don't know. It'll be interesting. I still think the Nets are the favorites. I still have them winning the championship. Um, I think that they're going to get tested in some games, though. They came back the next night and busted Minnesota, or last night and busted Minnesota. So I think this was just, a little blip. Um, Lakers just had their number that night. I think the
Yeah.
Lakers just had their number that
I
night.
know you're seeing that Nakamura go crazy though.
BM did go crazy. He
Yeah, like
did.
5 threes and 6 threes in the second half. He was just pulling.
Now that's I forgot about that. That could be something serious. Especially him playing with like LeBron, AD. When LeBron come back, LeBron does not mind kicking it to shooters, and
Mm.
if Ben's pulling like that, yeah, Bron's gonna have a nice little time. So, that, I mean, Lakers had some stuff going for them, but there's no way that Brooklyn should have lost this game. No way. Um, Maybe without James, they're not the same because we haven't seen Kyrie win anything by himself. We haven't seen him get to the playoffs by himself. Um,
He's
KD
gotten to the playoff by himself with
has
Boston.
he?
His first year in
Uh,
Boston. Well, both years in Boston.
but that was not by himself. Remember how great they
Okay.
looked without Kyrie?
Okay. That's fair.
Um, so I don't know. KD definitely he has to win this game. At the end of the day, he's coming off injury. He played limited minutes. He only played 24 minutes in the game. So he just they just got to get it together. That's all. That's
So,
all.
quick question about KD. So, let's say they win the championship. I think I've thrown this out there before. Uh, has KD done anything, quote unquote, by himself? Or even with just
Uh,
one other person, where it's like A, B? Has KD excelled as the A option?
I mean, he is the main option, absolutely. But you have to understand, everybody else needs 17 shots, 15, 17 shots to get 28 points. KD can get you that off 7, 8 shots. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't demand the ball. That's why I don't need like he could go for 50 every game if he shot, 17 times,
Hmm.
17, 22 times. So he could, but it's like he doesn't need that. When he gets a ball, it's boom. Let me get these 2 or 3 points real quick. Efficient. Like against the Lakers, it was a bad game. He didn't shoot. He didn't shoot well. So technically, he hasn't won anything by himself, but he's just so much of a dog in the sense of how he plays and the efficiency that will it ever be a by himself? You know what I'm saying? Like you want this man to average 50? Like
Oh, it's just about the rankings. That's it. I have a problem with people who put KD over LeBron. That's the only problem I've had. That's been my
Okay.
consistent problem. Because if you win the championship this year and James Harden is playing the way he's playing and Kyrie's playing the way he's playing and KD gets 21 points on 7 shots, it's like, okay, so are we saying KD is better than LeBron? Are we going to put him up there with like I think he's a great basketball player. It's one of the best
Hmm.
basketball players I've seen. But in terms of ranking players, are you ranking him ahead of LeBron, regardless
Like
of what he does with his career?
overall or just like right now? Kind
As
of
a career, like in terms of career rankings. Because as a
nobody's
basketball player, you might put him above LeBron. Possibly, that's a debate. That's cool. But in terms of like,
the whole body of work.
yeah,
No, the whole body of work. Nobody's putting KD over LeBron.
okay, that's fair. That's all. That's all I want.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, even since KD went to Golden State and cashed on LeBron twice in LeBron crib, yeah, like he was better than Brown knows at that time. Now I know he had the Golden State Warriors, but they did just lose to that same Cavaliers team the year before. You know what I'm saying? So KD came and set the tone, and he could have come in and been on the Warriors and been like the third wheel, second wheel, but nah, he was the reason why they won those championships.
That's fair.
So yeah, so I think in if we're talking about kind of since those wins that he had or those finals performances, yes, I think he is better than LeBron, but maybe even just for that short period of time, for like those 2 or 3 years, because after he got injured, we haven't seen really KD since then, right?
Yeah, no.
So we don't even know really what he's about to come back to be. Like he was killing at the beginning of this year, and then when he came back, he had a bad game against the Lakers. Had a great game against the team right before the Lakers. Shot a fit. He didn't miss. So it's a little testy with KD because he also is just like he's just a weird dude. Like he's just a weird guy. Um, but I don't know if we're talking about since that championship, you got to give KD the nod over LeBron. But we also haven't seen KD a full season since then.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of still in people's heads as well. But in career, no, there's no way you could say KD is better than LeBron. Like, there's
Okay.
no way. Especially when you comparing LeBron to Michael, Kobe,
Mhm.
like those dudes. KD's not getting compared to Michael, Kobe.
So who do we compare KD to? Because I feel like I agree with you. He's probably going to be in a different conversation. Probably not the Michael, LeBron, Kobe one. But what is he like in the
He's
Kareem?
like the bird conversation.
Okay, the Bird,
Like,
Kareem, James Worthy type of thing.
yeah, not even James Worthy. I don't put James up there with like Larry.
Okay.
I think James is right below. But yeah, like the exactly though the Akeems, the Larrys. I mean, but even saying the Larrys, Larry might even be up there with Michael, kind of like
I've never heard that.
no.
You don't get put in those conversations.
But that's because I feel like that's because his career was so short, just due to injuries and things like that. But I mean, when Larry was hooping, he was balling. Like he was like KD mixed with like Bron before that was even a thing for that short period of time. Like
Yeah.
efficient score, he led the team in rebounds, led the team in assists like a couple times. Like,
Mm.
but yeah, I see you got like the Michael, Kobe, Bron. Who else is in that kind of echelon?
D
Bill
Wade,
Russell
D Wade.
up there with like Mike and Kobe.
I mean, it's as far as shooting guards, it's Mike, Kobe, and you got to put D Wade as shooting guard right there.
Number three
Yeah.
over Clyde.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, let's do it that. I'll do it that way. In terms of like small forwards,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's probably like LeBron. No, yeah, it's probably LeBron, KD, Larry, right there.
Okay. Okay.
KD, Larry, kind of right there in terms of like small forwards. So I mean, he's up there. He's not like GOAT talk,
Mm-hmm.
but he's like one of the best players of all time, kind
Right.
of. Not like the greatest of all time though. Not those talks, but right below those talks.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
where KD fits in. Um, and who knows when it's all said and done, he got what, 2 rings right now?
Yes. Two. Damn, he
Yeah,
only
he
got
got
two
two.
rings?
He only got two in Golden State.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, two
Go
rings.
ahead. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he got 2 rings. They win this year. That puts him at 3. Do I think he could potentially win one or two more? He's so weird. You don't know what he's gonna do. Like,
Yeah.
you just don't know where he's gonna go, kind of what he's gonna do.
So
So,
what if they change just forecasting? I think they're gonna try to make Brooklyn be like New York Yankees in a sense that people are just gonna go there all stars and try to win championships. I
mm,
can see them trying to do that with Brooklyn, and that'd be the new culture because this would be the first championship in Brooklyn history. So it's like you got a chance to build a dynasty where people just are trying to live in New York,
come
be cool as hell, all other shit type shit. So it's just like,
at the Barclays, like all that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't see anybody not going to Brooklyn for as long as KD, Kyrie, and James are there. Uh, do KD and does Kyrie and James stay there for a long time?
I think James stays. I think that either they could trade Kyrie or Kyrie will leave. I
That's
could see Kyrie being the one person that leaves. I think KD and James will probably stay and kind of just continue to get pieces there. Sometimes I be feeling like Kai might be the odd man out, even though it doesn't seem like that now. I'm just looking in the future. I don't know. Kyrie's a weird one too, and I could see it getting to the point where he starts to feel like I want to do this somewhere else. I want to do this on my own, or I want to try to see how well I can do outside of this. And I don't know. Kyrie's the oddball out to me. When it comes to like James, Kevin Durant, I can see both of them saying I could see Kai getting out of there. Um, but I could see a dynasty brewing in Brooklyn. I didn't think about that until you said that. So that's actually a good point. That could be something that we see, for years to come. How old is KD? Like 33, 32, 33,
I think it's 32. So
32?
yeah, I can see him finishing his career there and being competing for finals every year as far as like as contenders. I think if somebody like a KD in your team, you're going to be a contender. I feel like so.
So what hypothetically? What is he at 2 now? What if he gets 3 more rings? Hypothetically, where are
Um,
we putting him? If he's like, if he wins Finals MVP, damn
all
near all three times, like he's the reason why they win, or maybe not all 3 times, maybe 2 out of the 3 times he's Finals MVP.
mhm.
Um, but he's still like one of the main reasons why they win. Where does that put him on your list?
I
Beats
think that
Braun in one of those.
I think that puts him. So me compare him to the Yankees, just a little baseball, but it's like, is Derek Jeter the greatest baseball player of all time? No, mostly because you play with so many stars. You're a
Hmm.
great Yankee of all time, which is like a statement. But like, I think Katie goes in that same breath of like, you are a great player, yes, but I don't think people are going to put you as the best because you're in a team with Hall of Famers every time that you go up to bat. It's like I don't think people will give him that. I really don't.
But and so my argument to that, and I kind of agree with you, is what if people look at that and say, "Wow, even with all of these Hall of Famers, it was clear who the most valuable player on that team was." Do you think that helps or hurt him?
I think
Like,
it hurts some perception. Like I feel
okay,
what you're saying, but I just don't think because like same with Derek Jeter, people aren't putting him in top 5 players all the time. But Derek Jeter was the best player in the Yankees for a majority of his career. But he still played with A-Rod, still played with Jason Giambi, Mariano Rivera. It's like so many Hall of Famers you played with. It's like people aren't going to give you that. And I know baseball's a little bit different because it's like you don't have to be the guy. But I see that kind of being the same thing with KD. You're going to be placed as like a legend regardless. That's like an all-time great. But I don't see the top player. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I feel that. I don't know. I cannot, man. You would have to put 5 rings though. You would have to put him like top 5.
Tim Duncan got 5 rings. What people say about Tim
Yeah,
Duncan right now?
Tim is like he could argue. You could argue top 5. Tim. He's
But
at
people
least
put him there. You could argue it. I think people try to make the argument for KD, but in our reality, are people going to put him there? I just don't. I don't see that because, like you said, Tim Duncan has 5 rings, but it's just like I don't know. He's one of the greatest power forwards ever played. People don't do it. So it's just
that's
like
true.
Scottie Pippen also has 6 championships as well. People aren't going to like really put that for Scottie because you played with Michael Jordan, you played with Dennis Rodman, you had Phil Jackson coaching you. People aren't willing to do that.
That's a very valid point. Actually, I didn't think about the Scotty comparison.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Because
Scottie is like on the same level as KD, but when Scottie retired, people still didn't fuck with Scottie, regardless of who we're comparing him to. People didn't put him up there.
and he's not. He was like not even top 30 on a couple lists or something like that.
No, he was a great
So
player.
so KD definitely is better than Scotty.
Yeah,
We,
yeah.
we we can say that. Okay. So I think what if Scotty would have been the Finals MVP a couple times out of those 6? What if he was at 3 times? You think it would be different?
Obviously Scottie has his own personal problems, which is the reason why people don't put him up there. As far as like not going in the game for the Tony
Mm-hmm.
Kukoc shot, the flu game, and then like the finals, him being hurt all the time, stuff like that. So it's the only reasons why people have the reservation about Scottie. But just everything in a nutshell, Scottie, people don't feel that way about a player like him because of the help that he got. Because Scottie
Okay.
alone, like when the 2 years that Michael Jordan wasn't there, the first year they lost in Game 7 of Eastern Conference Finals. So like it was almost back to the finals with Scottie Pippen. He
Mm-hmm.
guarded Magic Johnson full court in the first final, which was a big reason why the Bulls beat the Lakers. There's KD is going to be an elevated scenario with Scottie Pippen. I feel like it's an elevated
Okay.
type of thing because obviously KD has a skill, but you still have you join a team that beat you 3-1. They're 73-9. You join them. You still have you're on a team with Kyrie and James Harden, 2 people who are MVP talents. So if that still is the narrative for the rest of his career, I think people still don't have the reservations.
Okay. So, and I feel you. I can't say that I personally would have reservations about that, especially 5 rings, 4 Finals MVPs
Hmm.
on a team with like Hall of Famers. I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy. But in the sport of basketball, like the more firepower you have, that's definitely increases your chances of winning.
Hmm.
So I could definitely see people holding reservations. Now, if he was to hypothetically win 5, I think that elevates him to. He's already top 10 in my book of
Okay.
all time.
Hmm.
That could propel him to top 5. And I could see people that don't like LeBron, like just personally don't like LeBron, like myself included. We might inch KD above LeBron in that sense.
All right. So that top five, if I'm being unbiased, it goes. Well, when it's all said and done, people are gonna put LeBron over Michael. Unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
So it would be LeBron, Michael, Kobe.
Kobe.
KD might be right there at 4.
I can
Um,
see that.
I can see that. And then 5, I don't know who would be a 5th person, but like
Magic.
maybe Shaq.
Yeah, no, I'm about that.
Yeah, but like, yeah. Is he comfortable being behind those players though? That's the problem with KD.
True.
Like KD ain't going for that. KD not being comfortable being behind Kobe, LeBron, and Mike. So it's like,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's of course hypothetical.
Yeah.
I definitely see them winning one or see him winning one, maybe 2 more. But my thing is, if he beats LeBron again, maybe 2 times in a row,
Mhm. If he beats LeBron this year, I don't care. I don't care, bro. I don't care.
okay.
It
What
has to
about
be like it has to be blowouts every game sweep for me to be like, okay. But if you just win a sweep, like you're supposed, the Brooklyn Nets are supposed to beat the Lakers.
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
supposed to probably win in 4 or 5. You know, if
But
it goes
what
to
if it's
7 and the Lakers lose, I'm not giving KD no credit for that.
that's a win for the Lakers,
Yeah,
with
it's like
that
okay,
win
we
for
right
LeBron.
there, and the motherfuckers got everybody, so I wouldn't be mad.
So what if it's KD messing LeBron up? Like I'm talking like making LeBron look stupid, like make him not stupid, but Golden State all over again, like KD versus Brown. What if that happens? Like you know what I'm saying? For two years in a row, it's like LeBron
But are we
gotta come.
expecting LeBron to keep up with KD at this point?
I guess
Uh,
not. What's LeBron 36?
yeah. So like, I'm not expecting LeBron to keep up with KD at this point. I think the torch is definitely passing to KD, but even
Okay.
that is weird because it's like, why is KD going to be the face of the league?
Yeah,
That's just weird. You don't really see him in that light because it's like, and we all know KD is not that though. He's just not.
yeah.
Like, honestly, you love KD. Should he be the face of the league?
Nah, he shouldn't.
It's
he
like,
shouldn't.
when have we ever
Yeah,
seen somebody being so talented, unable be to have that energy? You know, it doesn't make
yeah.
no sense.
No, and he be tweaking. So yeah. Oh man, I guess you're right about Brown. Like at this point in Brown's career, it's like you don't expect him to clamp anybody up. You don't expect him to change the game defensively per se.
Yeah,
But what if it's KD making him look terrible? Like, it won't matter. Like it just really won't matter.
they would have to be if he gets 3 plays, if he gets 3 highlight plays on Bron, then it's like, all right, he got that. If he gets like a dunk, a cross up, a complete disrespectful shot pull up in his face, then I'll be like, all right, KD got that. But if they just beat the Lakers, it's like
Yeah,
I don't really care. I'm still putting LeBron.
but
It's gonna make him so mad when they beat the Lakers and people still LeBron ranked over him. That's,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna do it. That's gonna do
that
it.
is.
That's
He
gonna do it.
gonna leave. He gonna leave Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He gonna
Like,
leave.
fuck, I'm gonna do it by myself. I'm gonna go to Toronto. Like, so
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy. So three game winners on LeBron every game. It's the only
every game,
thing that would change it.
every
Yeah.
But Kyrie, it was an interesting conversation. So allegedly he got ejected from Dennis Schroeder because Dennis Schroeder called him a
Then
nigger,
and,
an
and
N-word,
yeah.
and Kyrie wasn't really going for that. So how do you feel about that whole situation?
So it's interesting because personally, like we use the N word,
Mm,
you know, as a sign of endearment. Like that's our word
mm,
for each other. Black people use that all the time for each other. Now there are some that really don't like to use the word and think that it's or have their own reserves about it, and I understand that, and like that's okay. Like I'm not mad at that at all. I have no qualms with that. Um, I think it's about a level of respect of making sure you know who's in vicinity of you hearing it, who's like who's gonna take offense to that if you can kind of know before.
right.
Um, but after watching the clip, it's like Kyrie kept getting in his face. Like
Mm.
it looked like Dennis Schroeder was trying to back up, and Kai kept coming to him, and then that's when Dennis Schroeder was like, "Damn, nigga," you know what I'm saying? Like, "Damn, homie, back up."
Yeah.
And then Kyrie just kept going. Now I don't know Kyrie. Like, I don't really know him personally. I don't know if he's used the word before or anything like that, but I maybe he took offense to it because Dennis Schroeder isn't from the United States. Like maybe him being from I think it's Germany.
Yeah, Germany.
Maybe he's like, man, you're not even from here. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that would even be I could see it being that especially with like a German accent, he probably was like, whoa, 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 whoa,
That sounds a
whoa.
little racist coming from you, bro. I don't know how to feel.
Exactly. So I think that could have been a part of it too. Because they say that so many people say that throughout the entire league. Like you hear clips of like
Mm,
people like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Just out of not even meaning it in a derogatory term, just like, damn, bro, like, come on. And I don't know. And then we got Kyrie's post. I appreciate his post. Like, cool. Like, I'm glad you feel that way. Um, I don't have a problem with it. I to each his own, honestly. But I
right.
think why he took offense to that in that game, I honestly think was because of the accent, it coming from Dennis Schroeder, who's not of United States descent per se. Like he's not like American. Which at the end of the day, he's still African American or African. Like he's still black.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't think Kyrie should have turned up like he did because he caused them to both get ejected.
Yeah.
I feel like Dennis Schroeder was mad because he was like, "Dang, bro, like you got me ejected too." like,
Yeah.
like shoot. So I don't know. I appreciate his stance on it. To each his own. But I don't know. I'm not gonna say he was out of line. Like I feel him. I think they both were just in the moment. I don't think Dennis Schroeder meant any hostility or negativity by that. I think he was just like, dang, bro, like chill out.
Yeah.
So I maybe Kyrie overreacted on the court. Because I don't think that they needed to both get ejected for that.
Yeah.
And
I,
Kyrie kept perpetuating it, like making it a
yeah.
little worse.
I think Kyrie is like quote unquote woke now,
Woke, yeah.
which is cool. Like, you on your journey to finding out stuff. Everybody has been on that path at some point in life, and you get frustrated. So I get that because you just like all this information is coming to you. You get radical, you get all this stuff. So I get it.
Yeah.
But when you take that information and then go out into the world, you can't expect everybody to know what type of time you on.
True.
Like, that was my biggest thing. Like, if you want to tell them, hey, bro, I'm not really fucking with that. Cool. And then you just leave it at that. And if they do it again, then you turn up. I don't know how the conversation went, but it seemed like it escalated immediately. And it's like, I don't think you should handle yourself like that with this newfound information,
Just gung ho about it. Just gung ho about it.
Gotta, like, when you just heard for the first time a picnic was about white lynchings and people having picnics when they lynched black people. And that's where the word comes from. Cool. I don't think you should go to the park and then start spazzing on people having picnics. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
they don't know the actual origin of that stuff, So
Yeah.
it's like, you gotta kind of, tailor it and kind of move a little bit differently than that. But like you said,
Absolutely.
so
Yeah. So so I don't think that's a very valid point. Like him being woke, I think kind of made him even more or react more, even more intensely to that.
Mm.
But he didn't need to. He didn't need to at all. But that that's just him showing his wokeness. But like you said, Dennis Schroeder ain't on that time. Like
Nah.
he's not on that time at all. And again, he didn't use it as a derogatory term. I don't think. It looked like he was just more in like shock. Like, dang, bro, like why are you so turnt right now? Chill out.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that Kyrie being woke is definitely one of the reasons why that happened the way that it did.
That's the last point on Kyrie and like the Brooklyn Nets in general. Kyrie has been an interesting character since he's been in the league. From a question
Yeah.
of trade after the finals, that was crazy. Like from the Cleveland Cavaliers because he don't play LeBron anymore. That was like
Yeah.
out of nowhere, bro. Like that was ridiculous. And then you had
Yeah.
the Boston situation. That was all weird. And then now this newfound person that he is, which is appreciated when you evolve. But it's like Kyrie has always been like a ticking time bomb where you really don't know what you're gonna get from Kyrie. You just don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, at all. Like at no point in his career do you know what he's gonna do next.
mm-mm.
So
So that's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
But move to a different team. You got the Warriors. The Steph Curry had 53 the other day against the. Oh, that was against the Nuggets in the same game. Jamal Murray got hurt. So,
Mm-hmm.
part question, Steph, how you feel about this year and his response to like all the haters? Which I'm on that part. I'm the person that he's addressing. I'm sure because I definitely was not expecting Steph to do this much. And also, how do you feel about the Nuggets now that Jamal Murray is severely hurt for the rest of the season?
So I didn't see what Steph said. What was it that he said?
Well, earlier in the season, he was addressing people saying that like, oh, since he doesn't have Clay and the Warriors aren't the same, Steph isn't going to be his style of play isn't going to be able to transfer.
Oh, got you.
So he's been
Yeah, so
yeah.
he's been going crazy. So I kind of saw I didn't see them doing this well. But I'm a huge Warriors fan. I think he just was doing his thing. Like at the end of the day, he's a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the greatest shooters we've ever seen in the league. So him being able to shoot, that won't change. Now, him playing with Golden State and kind of that system of the pick and roll and pick and pops and things like that, that definitely just enhances shooting. But Steph has been this. Like we know what Steph can do. That they're not favorites like they would have been if they had Klay Thompson and they were doing the picks and pops and things like that. But at the end of the day, they still got Steph, who's an MVP level player.
Mm-hmm.
He's just without his number two. I mean, honestly, he's without a lot. Isn't Wiseman out too?
Yeah, he out now.
That's what I'm saying. He's playing with Dre. Like he's having to rely on Draymond to like give him some help, and it's like, that's bad. So they're doing good for what they have. Like they're doing really well for what they have. And didn't he just become the all-time leading Warriors scorer too? So
Pascal Chamberlain.
yeah, so that's he's Mr. Warrior at the end of the day. Like I don't know. Like I didn't see him dropping like going crazy like he was this year. I didn't see their record being what it was, but I was hopeful. And he's just, he's kind of just proven that he's still Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
He may not have his sidekick, but he's still gonna be Steph Curry. So I think people will really enjoy, seeing Steph play at that level. I think people really enjoy seeing him play at that level.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Steph,
and then
okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Steph, he definitely is proving me wrong for sure because I've never been huge on Steph as far as like the type of point guard that like I gravitate towards. I never really gravitate towards like the 3-point shooter, defensive liability type person. So I'm just like, oh, this probably be the year that he falls off because he's the only person you got to worry about. But he's still proving that he's a top talent that you have to deal with, and you have to because he will drop 50 on you if you let him get hot. So like he definitely what he happened 29, 6 and 6 this year. Like that's crazy.
That's
like
crazy.
That's crazy. He's putting that team on his back for sure. So
shooting like 40 plus from three too.
Yeah, he demands respect for sure. You can't replace Steph like he's not that, but he definitely is that. He's that. Yeah. But the Nuggets with Jamal Murray, that's a huge, blow. I think it's to give a chance for RJ Hampton to get some playing time though. So I mean, we'll see what he has because he really wasn't getting much playing time, for him to be a lottery pick. So I
Yeah.
think now that Jamal Murray is out, it gives him a chance to step up, see what he has. Aaron Gordon's going to have to step up. I know he was thinking he's gonna go there and just cruise in the West, but no, it's like you gotta step up for real
He
now.
still got a hoop.
Yeah,
He
you
still
gotta
got a hoop.
real. So him, Nicola, they're gonna have to really try to pull it off. Michael Porter Jr. He was playing really good this year,
He has.
but he got to be more consistent. In that game, he was 1-11 from 11 from three. I think
Yeah.
Warriors. So it's like, this what is this will be his third year in the league. Because the first year he was hurt, and last year was a rookie year. So like, it's all on the floor right now. You gotta prove it. You got.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. It sucks so sorry for Jamal because it looks like he's out for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, like you said, RJ is gonna have to step up. This is definitely gonna be a time where Yoke has to play even better than he's already playing, like above an MVP level performance that he's already been putting on. Um, Michael Porter, you've been big on him too. Like he got to get it together. Like the games that he plays well, it's like, yo, this dude is the future. But then, like you said, he has games where it's like 1 for 11 from three. Um, Aaron Gordon. I'm not the biggest Aaron Gordon fan.
yeah.
Now I haven't. How's he been doing since he's been on the Nuggets?
He gets a lot of easy looks. His points are easy on the Nuggets. I'll give him that. He don't have to do much, so he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's doing well. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, he's gonna have to step up too. Now I think losing Jamal Murray is a huge blow. I think it'll be very obvious sooner than later that he's a key piece and they need him a lot more than most other people on that team.
Mhm.
But I think that, like you said, this will give RJ a chance. But I think this will really give Yoke a chance to go crazy, like to go crazy. Because now it's just like it's on him. He has to go crazy. And this, I think, Jamal Murray being out, I think depending on how they finish off, I think that's his MVP case right there. If they make it, what spot are they in right now?
I think they're in fourth or fifth.
Yeah, if they get up to maybe like third or stay fourth, I think that's a very good possibility that Jokic will win MVP too.
You think Jokic is going to be bringing the ball up the floor more now?
I think he will. That was another thing. I think he will. I think he will, and that could be nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like 7-footer bringing the ball up, who can shoot, who can pass, who's like real savvy with the ball. Yeah, they could. I could see them finishing like third. They're only 2 games behind or 3 games behind the Clippers right now at
Mm-hmm.
in third place. Um, so it'll be crazy. I'm just sitting here looking at this ranking. I keep forgetting about the Jazz. Though. Like Jazz are balling right now.
They play
It doesn't
really
even make sense. It doesn't even make sense.
real quick.
So
I saw a thing that they're comparing. Who was it? Somebody, Eddie Jones, compared Michael Porter Jr. to the next KD. How do you feel about that?
oh man, that's interesting. I remember before it was Michael Porter. You remember it was Brandon Ingram
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
was on the Lakers.
Mhm.
Um, I that's interesting. I'm not mad at that. Um, he has the size, he has the length, he can shoot when he's on. Of course, he was just off last game or against 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 the Warriors. But I mean, he got the size. What is he like 6'9"?
Yeah, 6'9".
About
And that shooting arc is high.
yeah, and he's fast too. Like he's a quick kind of skinny 6'9". So I think he could be. I think he could. Now, being the next KD is hard because one, KD been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah,
Like back in Texas, he been this type of player. Supersonics. He came in being that type of player. Um, these dudes need some more development time. I think Michael Porter is maybe like a year, maybe 2 away from being that like that KD type. But I think he's on that path. And I don't doubt that he could potentially become that because he has a body. He has the length. He has the size. The skill set's still developing. But he's already willing to shoot those and to he's willing to shoot the shots. Like he's not playing scared or anything. When I see him play, I'm like, all right, cool. Like he trying to hoop.
Yeah,
So I think he could. I think he could be.
for sure, for sure. Uh,
Yeah.
the Bulls since the trade. When they played the Hawks the other week, Zach LaVine dropped 50, Trae Young dropped 43. The Hawks ended up winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
Since the trade, we've lost some games that we would have lost before the trade.
Yeah.
I think Zach LaVine has to be a better leader.
Yeah.
Simple. They have the pieces, they have the talent on the team. Zach LaVine just got to be a better leader. There's no excuse anymore. You can't be like, oh, he doesn't have help, which I believe before the trade that he had help. Honestly, I think it was a cop out, but it's fine. You have the people now. Like Daniel Tice has been great for the Bulls. He's been averaging like a double-double since he came over. Nikola Vucevic has had like one game where he didn't get 20 and 10. So he's been great. Michael Green, Troy Brown Jr., like we have a lot of other players who have entered the rotation that have been great for the team. But Zach the leadership is just still blowing leads, still getting ripped at half court, still turnovers, still not really playing with defense. He's a great scorer, but leader, I just still don't see it. And I'm big on Zach, but it's not there.
Yeah. So I don't know if I ever saw Zach as a leader, like even back in Minnesota days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I ever expected him to be that. So that's one thing. But do you think people develop into leaders or they just come in as leaders?
That's a very, very good question. I think with mentorship and veterans, you can develop into a leader. But I don't think Zach has ever played under a player like that. Like Thaddeus Young is our veteran. Thaddeus Young is a great player, like great veteran. He does exactly what he's supposed to do. He don't mess up, all that stuff. But I think he needs to get mentorship from a LeBron, a KD, a Jimmy Butler, somebody that's like they know is gonna hold you accountable because they can play at that level.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening. Like I'm honestly scared that Zach LaVine leaves the Bulls this summer and goes to LA. That's what I'm scared of.
Wow.
To the Lakers.
Okay.
Because he's a free agent this year.
Oh, so
I would not want that, but I do believe that Zach LaVine needs to be under a superstar. And that'll make it a lot better. Okay. Unless the Bulls bring in like a true veteran that's like going to hold them accountable, which I don't see them really doing because it's not really a market for that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, to answer your question, he was not born a leader, and he's not on the path to being that anytime soon.
Okay, so I didn't realize he was a free agent this year. That's big.
This year or next year? I think this year we can sign him to extension, or he can decline it. So
it's player option.
Yes, it's a player option.
He might be up out of there, bro. He might be up.
Chicago is a team, but him as the number one option and not have another person as a veteran, like I said.
Yeah.
I see it being like in a Denver Nuggets situation, where it's like losing the second round, possibly making to the conference finals, losing there. Like I just don't see championship. I just don't see it,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't necessarily see that out of Zach either. Now, they still might make the playoffs this year. Mm-hmm. Did they make the playoffs last year? The year before? Mm-hmm. Is this the first time he's been in the playoffs since being on the Bulls?
This is the first time being in the playoffs in his career, I believe.
Oh, really?
If he goes this year, it'll be the first time, yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, I don't see him as a leader. I do think he can be led. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think it's just been for too long, it's just been kind of him with no person above him.
Yeah.
Especially like on the Bulls, because it's like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like anybody's checking for them right now. And nobody's holding him accountable. Like not even like the media. The media isn't holding him accountable or anything like that. And he's not a leader. Like he's not a leader. I think, like you said, he could develop into one if he did get like a LeBron or even like a Wade. Like Wade, I think would have been perfect to like kind of lead Zach LaVine in like the right direction. Mm-hmm. So until then, I think you probably gonna continue seeing what you see because we've seen this for what the last like 2-3 years from Zach Levine.
Yeah, he's
Like the
he's average.
same.
He's averaged over 20 for the past 3 years. He's shown he can get those games, but yeah. And then they're thinking about bringing Lonzo in the offseason. I think that pushes us into a playoff team, definitely. But I still don't think that's enough to really do much because we don't have a leader, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's tough. I don't. That's tough. Yeah, I don't know if Zach Levine will be able to do it. He definitely won't be able to do it by himself. And I didn't realize that he was gonna be potentially a free agent. I don't see him coming back either. Um,
I mean, it is his team in Chicago,
it is.
and that's a big brand, so it's enticing. I hope he stays, but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think it's Chicago.
It'll be interesting. It'll be
Um,
interesting.
shit, MVP race. Who you got as your top three candidates? MVP
Joel Embiid.
number one.
Um, I gotta put Yoke. I gotta put my boy Yoke number one.
Okay.
Yoke number one. Joel Embiid. I will put him second, and then third. Hmm. See, James just went down. I would have had James in third. I don't know. What are the list saying for number three?
Mm,
Or
let me see. I haven't really checked the list for them too much.
yeah, let me go grab my charger real quick too.
Okay.
What's top five?
Okay. Top five. We got Nikola, Dame at number two.
Dame.
Yep. Joel Embiid at three. Giannis at four. James Harden at five.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Yoke. I'm gonna go with Joel.
Mm,
Now Dame is interesting. I haven't been watching Dame at all this year.
that's true.
Let me peep Dame real quick. Let me peep Dame before I give him that number three spot. Give me 1 second. What's your top three?
Top three that I got. I think I got I'm gonna put Nikola one,
Mm-hmm.
Joel two, and honestly, I'll put Jimmy Butler in third.
Jimmy.
Jimmy averaging 22, 7 and 7, 2 steals, and like the win loss without him versus with him is crazy. The
That's
reason why
okay.
they are so far back is because their first month and a half he wasn't playing, and they got off horribly, and they've come
Yeah.
right back into the top five position, and it's like that's because of Jimmy, And I
Mm.
think the way he leads that team is like I don't see a better leader out there besides Jimmy Butler, honestly.
That's a good point. That's a very valid point.
So I'll put him in that three spot.
Okay. You know what? Because I
Chris Paul
trust
to get
you,
love too. My bad. Chris Paul got to get loved in some regard. You
Chris
got
Paul,
to
dude. MVP though.
he got to get love. He got to get some votes. I don't know if he should win
Okay.
it, but he got to get some votes, man.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I think Chris Paul should get some votes too. I'm gonna go with you with the Jimmy. Because I wasn't thinking about that, but you're absolutely right. Jimmy been going wild. And they've turned it around since he has come back. So I'm with you. I'm gonna go Nick, or I'm gonna go Yoke, Joel, and Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do that.
So yeah, it's interesting. So you still got who you got in the West coming out the finals? Coming out the
Finals in.
you got coming out the West?
I think. Oh man, because yeah, I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be Utah. Eh, Or I just don't know. Like Utah, I want to say Phoenix just on some Cinderella stuff because I can't see them being.
I don't see.
Firstly, they're second in the West right now. Do I see them competing for a Western, like competing for a chip? No, but it's like, yo, they're up there.
Uh,
Nah, I think I got Clippers. I think I got Clippers coming out of West.
Clippers.
Now I like the Clippers versus the Nets. I like that the
Okay.
way that matchup will be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Yeah, I got Clippers coming out of West. Um, it was Lakers for a while, but I don't know. I don't know how LeBron and I don't know how AD is gonna come back off after his off injury. Because even before he went on injury, he was still a little shaky.
Yeah,
He wasn't looking like the AD from last year. He's not playing with that same intensity, and the injury he's coming back from is an intense injury, like to where it's like a lot of players come back and some players are like really shaky, and he seems like one of them players to me. Um, mental fortitude, that mental toughness.
yeah.
I don't really see too much of that in AD. Um, so I don't necessarily think the Lakers. I don't think they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals. I think we could see an second round exit for the Lakers.
Hmm.
Um, see, I got Clippers. My Cinderella story is the Suns, though. If the Suns make it to the finals, that would be insane. Like if they make it to the championships, oh man. And imagine Chris Paul winning a ring in Phoenix, like at 39 years old when he's playing for
Don't do him like that.
like yeah, if man, that would be wild. But I got Clippers Nets. I see like that matchup a little bit more than Lakers Nets. And I think Clippers could take them to like five or maybe 6 games. I can see 6 games. I still, of course, got the Nets winning.
Mm,
Um, and the Jazz, I just don't know about the Jazz playoff time.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
so I don't know. And then out of the East, of course, I got the Nets. Cinderella story will be the Hawks, though. Best believe on that. Yeah, they will shock. Um, so yeah, I got Nets, Clippers, Nets winning the whole thing.
Yeah. I had the Nuggets come out the West before, and that was my Cinderella, but I don't think it was gonna happen with Jamal Murray going down.
Yeah,
So to adjust my Cinderella for the West, damn.
you got Utah, Phoenix, Clips, Nuggets, Lakers, Trailblazers, Mavs, Grizzlies.
Trailblazers are my Cinderella
Okay.
for the West. But as far as like actual money on in the West, I gotta ah, I
Yeah,
don't man.
you feel me?
I'm gonna go Lakers.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Lakers. Uh they did somebody else just has to prove that they can beat them. So just out of respect, I'll give it to the Lakers, you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the Blazers, people sleeping on, and they got like I said before, they have every piece they possibly could need. Like they have everybody. So it's like
Hmm.
under the radar, that's a big punch. You know, they got everybody. Maintain everybody
Oh,
stay healthy because that's always been the biggest problem with them.
yeah.
So
Um. So you said Lakers coming out.
yeah,
So tell me this. Now Lakers are fifth right now. Over the next so over the next let me just look at that schedule for the
mm.
next couple. So who don't you want to see if you're the Lakers in
Nuggets.
the first round?
I don't want to see Nuggets or Trailblazers in the first round from the Lakers.
Okay. So let's see. They got about one, two, three. They got about 20 games left.
Okay.
And through those games, like they played Boston once, they got Utah twice,
Mm.
Dallas twice, Portland, Phoenix,
Damn.
Clippers, Denver.
Damn.
Yeah, so they play a lot of Western Conference games coming up, and
Wow.
it's gonna be intense. So hypothetically, I don't think you think they're gonna finish around fifth, or you think they're gonna.
I think they fall to six. I think six is as far as they fall. They don't get involved in the playing tournament at all.
Okay,
They
okay.
away from that, which I think is a six spot, no?
No, is that six?
Because
I thought it was
seventh and eighth, I think they play the ninth and tenth, I believe.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so six. I'm down with that.
I think they
So
do
you
everything in power to stay in sixth spot, and if they play what? Who's that first round then? Is that like the Suns? Is that who?
no six because sixth team will play the fifth team, right?
Three.
Oh, six will play three. Okay, Six. That would be the Clippers. How you feel about how you feel about that one?
I
That's a
think
matchup that we've been waiting for too.
that's true. But the reason why I would rather that than Denver. Well, Denver just got hurt also with Jamal Murray. But just
Yeah,
regardless, I think if you beat the Clippers first round, you're equipped to come out the West.
that's very true.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
if
all the
you
time.
can beat them,
Yeah,
then okay.
that's all I said.
So
If you play
so
Denver
Ja-
first round, I don't think that tells you enough about if you're going to be able to come out the West, and that's already too much in the first round. So it's
okay. So Jazz, we just kind of writing off this year.
well, I don't think it'd be we wouldn't. I wouldn't want to play Jazz first round, but I'd be an AFC to deal with that. So that's I don't think I have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So
So okay. So I'm kind of with you. If the Lakers do play somebody first round and a challenging team play the Clippers, that way like, all right, cool. If I'm good enough to beat the Clippers, we
mhm.
can take the West
Yeah,
and we got potential to win the championship. I feel that.
yeah.
Um, okay. I feel that. I'm with that. Um, it'll be interesting. They got a tough schedule ahead.
Mm-hmm. Pause it real quick. But yeah, you got any other topics you want to get into?
Um, no, I think we hit them all. I feel like there might have been one. Hold on.
Okay.
Uh, let me see real quick.
Mhm.
We pause right now.
Yeah.
I think we hit them all. Um, yeah, we hit them all.
All right.
We could do our retro joints.
Retro jersey trifecta thing. So which one I get into? Retro jersey player series. We picking
Let's
this
do series. Let's do series.
playoff. Nice. Okay. I'm gonna start it off. Retro playoff series. I'm gonna go with 2001. The 76ers versus Toronto Raptors. I think that was conference finals or second round, one of the two. Vince
Oh,
was
76. Yeah.
yeah, both
Yeah.
50, I believe. That was a intense series.
I
Sure.
forgot about that one.
That was
I like and Vince was going crazy.
mm-hmm.
Crazy. I think mine is gonna be Memphis Grizzlies versus the San Antonio Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
First round. What was that, like 2011, maybe?
Was that the one that they won against the Spurs?
Yeah, when they beat the Spurs.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when Zach was going crazy.
Big C
Yeah,
is Zebo.
yeah. Zebo and Mark Gasol, Rudy Gay, OJ, all of that. Yeah, that was my joint.
Classic teams. Classic
Heck yeah.
for sure.
Heck yeah.
Make sure y'all follow Retro Jersey Podcast on IG.
Follow.
Got some good posts up there. I posted about Earl Boykins this week also. Remember Earl Boykins?
Earl Boy.
He was
Six.
cold.
Was he like 6 something?
I think he was
6'1"?
5'5".
5'5", yeah.
I got Earl Boykins on there. I got what is it? Retro players: Mike Bibby, Darren Williams, Amari Stoudemire, Marcus Camby, Big Z, Steve Francis, Eddie Jones, Baron Davis, David Robinson, Josh Smith. So yeah, head over there and check those posts out. But shit. Until then, it's been a Retro Jersey Podcast. We out of here.
Peace.